Have you ever wondered how a man of modest background could rise to become one of the most influential figures in history? The enigma we're unraveling today is none other than Napoleon Bonaparte, a man who, despite his humble origins, would go on to shape the course of world events. Born in Corsica, a small island off the Italian coast, Napoleon was far from the opulence of the French elite. Yet his strategic acumen and unyielding ambition propelled him to the pinnacle of power as the Emperor of the French. From the arid deserts of Egypt to the snowy expanses of Russia, his military campaigns spanned continents, forever changing the geopolitical landscape. But who was Napoleon Bonaparte really? A tyrant, a reformer, or a visionary? As we delve deeper into his life, we'll uncover the layers of this complex figure, his triumphs and tribulations, his audacity, and his downfall. This is the tale of Napoleon Bonaparte, a man whose influence reverberates through the corridors of history. Born into a relatively minor noble family on the island of Corsica in 1769, Napoleon's journey to greatness was anything but predictable. His early years were marked by the rugged and rebellious spirit of his homeland, shaping the audacious leader he would become. At the tender age of 9, Napoleon was sent to mainland France for his education. He found himself in the prestigious Brienne Military Academy, where he quickly stood out. Despite being teased for his Corsican accent and modest background, Napoleon demonstrated a sharp intellect and an insatiable curiosity, particularly in history and the art of war. Upon graduation, he joined the French army at just 16. His early military career was nothing short of remarkable. He quickly climbed the ranks, showing an uncanny knack for strategy and a fearless approach to battle. His first claim to fame came at the Siege of Toulon in 1793, where he successfully ousted the British forces, earning him a promotion to brigadier general. As the French Revolution raged on, Napoleon continued to make his mark. He was known for his ability to maintain order amongst chaos, a trait that did not go unnoticed by the ruling powers. It was the infamous 1795 whiff of grapeshot, where Napoleon quelled a royalist uprising in Paris, that truly catapulted him to the forefront of French politics. He was hailed as a hero of the revolution, a beacon of hope in a time of turmoil. By 1799, Napoleon had seized the opportunity to stage a coup, replacing the ineffective Directory with a new form of government, the consulate. As first consul, Napoleon held all the power. He implemented reforms that stabilized the country, gaining the trust and admiration of the French people. By the turn of the century, Napoleon had become the most powerful man in France, but his ambitions didn't stop there. As the first consul and later the Emperor of France, Napoleon embarked on a series of sweeping reforms and military campaigns. Napoleon's reign was a whirlwind of change, with the man himself at the center, stirring up a tempest with his indomitable will and vision. His domestic reforms were nothing short of revolutionary. Napoleon implemented a wide array of social, economic, and institutional changes. He established public schools, promoted a merit-based system, and fostered improvements in infrastructure, including roads, bridges, and canals, which not only facilitated commerce, but also boosted the morale of the French people. But perhaps his most enduring domestic achievement was the establishment of the Napoleonic Code. This legal code was far-reaching, introducing laws related to property, colonial affairs, the family, and individual rights, among others. It was a comprehensive system that aimed to sweep away the old order and replace it with one based on equality and justice. And it did not just remain confined within French borders. The Napoleonic Code spread across Europe and beyond, influencing legal systems in various parts of the world. Yet, Napoleon was not just a reformer. He was also a conqueror. His military campaigns were legendary, earning him a reputation as one of history's greatest military strategists. He led his Grande Armée with unparalleled skill, expanding the boundaries of his empire across Europe. From the pyramids of Egypt to the icy wastes of Russia, the echo of Napoleon's artillery was heard far and wide. His victories on the battlefield were numerous, and his strategies are still studied in military academies today. However, his military exploits, while impressive, also led to devastating wars that resulted in countless casualties. His ambition for power and expansion brought about the downfall of many, and his insatiable quest for dominance eventually led to his own downfall. Napoleon's reign, marked by triumph and defeat, changed the face of Europe forever. His story is a testament to the power of ambition and the cost of hubris, a reminder that even the greatest of emperors are, in the end, only human. Despite his unprecedented success, Napoleon's star was destined to fall. The tides of fortune, as they often do, began to turn against this mighty figure of history. The first major blow to Napoleon's reign came with his ill-fated invasion of Russia in 1812. His ambition, his thirst for expansion, led him to march his Grande Armée into a grueling Russian winter, a decision that would cost him dearly. Out of the roughly 600,000 soldiers he led into Russia, only a fraction returned, their spirits as frozen and broken as the winter that claimed them. Yet Napoleon, ever resilient, refused to fade quietly into the night. He was exiled to the island of Elba in the Mediterranean, a far cry from the grandeur of the French throne. But even in exile, his ambition was undimmed. In a daring move, he escaped Elba and returned to France in 1815, a period now known as the 100 Days. The French, still awed by his charisma, rallied to him once more. But this return to power was short-lived. His final defeat came at the Battle of Waterloo. Facing a coalition of European powers, Napoleon and his army fought valiantly, but were ultimately overwhelmed. This defeat marked the end of his reign and the beginning of his second and final exile to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic. Napoleon's fall from power was steep and swift. From the height of his reign, where he controlled much of Europe, to his lonely exile on St. Helena, his story is a stark reminder of the transient nature of power and the price of overreaching ambition. Napoleon's final defeat marked the end of an era, but his legacy was far from over. His influence on the world stage, the echoes of his reign, would continue to reverberate long after his fall, shaping the course of history in ways he could never have imagined. Napoleon's influence extends far beyond his lifetime, shaping the world as we know it today. The echoes of Napoleon's footsteps resonate through the corridors of time, leaving an indelible imprint on the landscape of history. His legacy is multifaceted, affecting various aspects of society and culture, from politics and law to military strategy. One of the most significant legacies of Napoleon is the spread of nationalism. Napoleon's conquests and his establishment of the French Empire ignited a sense of national identity among the conquered territories. This surge of national consciousness would later become the catalyst for the formation of many modern nations. But Napoleon's influence wasn't limited to the political sphere. His legal reforms, encapsulated in the Napoleonic Code, remain a cornerstone of civil law systems around the world. This comprehensive legal code, a testament to Napoleon's vision of equality, emphasized the abolition of feudal privileges and the establishment of meritocracy. It laid the groundwork for modern legal systems, fostering principles of justice that are still cherished today. Napoleon's impact on military strategy is equally profound. His innovative tactics, such as the use of the corps system and the integration of artillery into his armies, revolutionized warfare. He was a master of the battlefield, turning it into a chessboard where he outmaneuvered his opponents with his strategic acumen. Napoleon's military strategies continue to be studied in war colleges and military academies worldwide, shaping the minds of future generals. Napoleon's legacy also seeped into the cultural fabric of society. His patronage of the arts led to a flourishing of French culture that radiated across Europe. His influence can be traced in everything from architecture to literature, leaving an indelible mark on the world. Napoleon Bonaparte, a man of humble origins, forever left his mark on history, altering the course of nations and shaping the modern world. His story is a testament to the power of ambition and the indomitable spirit of humanity, and his legacy continues to echo through the ages. From a modest Corsican family to the Emperor of France, Napoleon's story is one of ambition, power, and indomitable will. We journeyed through his life, starting with his humble origins, and witnessed his meteoric ascent to power. His reign, marked by significant accomplishments, was a testament to his strategic genius and leadership. We saw a man who transformed France and left an indelible mark on the world. Yet, power has its price. We delved into the fall of Napoleon, a period marked by miscalculations, defeats, and exile. But even in downfall, his legacy endured. His contributions to legal and educational systems, as well as his influence on military strategies, continue to resonate today. So, the next time you wonder about the rise and fall of great men, remember Napoleon Bonaparte, a man whose story continues to captivate us centuries later. His life serves as a timeless reminder of the human capacity for greatness and the inevitability of imperfection.